Here are the Amish's 45 Vaseline hacks you didn't know worked. Under eye moisture veil. Out in the dry wind or cold, a dab of Vaseline beneath the eyes helps seal in moisture and prevent cracking or chapping. This simple barrier method protects delicate skin without fancy creams or added scents. Many Amish households rely on multi-purpose solutions like this rather than buying product after product. For extra benefit, warm the jar slightly in your hands before applying. It'll glide on more evenly. You can also smooth it over eyebrows before chores to block dust from clinging to hair. Prevent rust on garden tools. Before storing away tools for the season, coating metal edges with Vaseline keeps moisture from settling on their surface. In Amish barns and sheds, this has long been a practical trick to extend the life of hardworking hoes, shears, and spades. Even daily use tools benefit from this habit. Apply with a clean rag, covering blades and bolts. For wood handles, wipe separately with oil. Keeping a small jar by your sharpening stone ensures you never forget this step after maintenance. Rust-proof pocket knife. A trusted pocket knife needs more than just sharpening. It needs rust prevention. One fingertip of Vaseline massaged into the blade helps form a thin film that blocks moisture and air. This is especially important when knives are used outdoors for cutting rope, skinning produce, or fixing fencing. Amish farmers often rely on this hack before slipping their knives back into a leather sheath. Reapply every few weeks. For best results, open and close the hinge while applying so it coats all moving parts. Overnight heel softener. Rough heels are common after long days in boots or barefoot in the garden. Smearing a thick coat of Vaseline on cracked skin before bed, then wrapping feet in cloth or socks helps soften and restore dry patches. This works without any expensive lotions, just the same jar kept in a kitchen drawer or pantry. Amish families have passed down this no-fuss solution for generations. For deep cracks, mix in a pinch of sugar to gently exfoliate before applying the overnight balm. Preserve carved pumpkin edges. After carving pumpkins, the edges can shrivel fast in open air. Smearing Vaseline along the exposed cuts keeps moisture inside and air out, extending the life of your jack-o'-lantern display. Even in Amish fall gatherings, this simple trick helps their harvest-time pumpkins last through gatherings and barn socials. Apply with a spoon handle or fingers, reaching all grooves and designs. For added life, store pumpkins in a shaded area and mist occasionally with water during hot, dry days. Sap and rust shield on saw blades. Sticky sap build up dull saws quickly, especially when cutting softwoods. Rubbing Vaseline lightly across the blade before use helps prevent both sap clinging and rust forming. This layer makes cleanup easier and keeps the teeth sharp longer. Whether hung in a barn or tucked in a toolbox, this hack keeps hand tools ready for action. After wiping off sawdust, reapply before storage. For added longevity, store blades wrapped in cloth after coating to protect them from moisture and air. Loosen stuck light bulb bases. When light bulbs corrode in place, twisting them out can shatter glass or damage sockets. A dab of Vaseline on the bulb's metal threads before screwing it in can prevent that. It acts as a barrier to moisture and oxidation. This trick works great in barns, cellars, or porches, where bulbs stay in place for years. Always unplug or turn off power first. If stuck, gently wiggle with a glove after applying Vaseline around the edge using a cotton swab. Lift candle wax spills. Hardened candle wax clinging to wood or metal surfaces is a common mess after a gathering. Spread a little Vaseline around the edges of the spill and let it sit for a few minutes. The wax softens at the base, making it easier to lift without scraping or damaging finishes. This is especially helpful on handmade tables or shelves. After lifting the wax, wipe away the Vaseline with a cloth dipped in warm water and vinegar for a final polish. Seal brittle nail splits. When nails become dry and prone to splitting, applying Vaseline along the cuticle and over the nail surface helps restore moisture and protect against further cracking. The coating acts as a seal, especially useful in cold weather or after long days of handwork. Many homesteaders rely on this for simple nail care without needing store-bought creams. Massage it in before bed. For added strength, gently buff nails after applying so the Vaseline absorbs more evenly and shields longer. Seal flashlight and battery threads. Flashlights stored in barns or sheds are often exposed to damp air that can corrode battery compartments. Before closing the lid or threading on the battery cap, smear Vaseline on the threads and contact points. This helps keep out moisture and prevents corrosion. It also makes the flashlight easier to open when needed. If using older style crank or push flashlights, this still helps the metal parts last longer. Reapply every few months to maintain the barrier and function smoothly. Apron string chafe guard. Long hours in the kitchen or garden can make apron strings rub your waist raw. A dab of Vaseline under the string eases friction and prevents irritation. Women in Amish kitchens often rely on this simple barrier while baking or churning butter. It's especially useful during summer chores like canning or washing. Vaseline keeps the skin soothed without mess. You can also rub it under bra straps or where seams dig in while sewing or kneeling. Reapply as needed throughout your workday. Paint masks for glass and hardware. Before painting, around glass, knobs, or handles, swipe Vaseline on the areas you don't want painted. Once dry, the paint wipes off the grease spots without peeling or scraping. This trick saves time when painting windows, hinges, and latches, especially on decorative trim where tape doesn't fit. Amish carpenters use it when refurbishing furniture or repainting doors. For best results, apply the jelly with a cotton swab. You can also use it along baseboards to catch stray drips during touch-ups. Diaper rash barrier. Vaseline remains a top choice for soothing irritated baby skin. It forms a protective barrier that locks out moisture and friction, the two main causes of diaper rash. It's safe, scent-free, and simple. Apply a thin layer to the clean, dry area before putting on the next cloth diaper. Modern and traditional households alike have long trusted this method. You can also use it on babies' cheeks in winter to block windburn when walking or riding outdoors in cool weather. Barrier under bandage or wrap. Prevent homemade wraps from sticking to scrapes or stitches by applying a thin layer of Vaseline first. It keeps the fabric from pulling at sensitive skin, especially helpful if changing dressings often. This makes it easier to remove wraps from blisters, cuts, or healing skin without discomfort. Amish households have used this method for generations, often combining it with herbal salves. You can also apply Vaseline directly to the bandage to keep it from sticking to new scabs or burns. Keep car door gaskets supple. Cold weather makes rubber seals stiff and prone to cracking. To keep car doors from freezing shut, rub a thin layer of Vaseline along the gasket edge. This tip isn't just useful in winter, it also protects against dust and sun damage year-round. Farmers and rural drivers often rely on it for their trucks and tractors. For best results, wipe the seal clean first. You can also use it on rubber boots and tool grips to prevent cracking and drying. Dust block for nostrils. Did you know that rubbing a thin layer of Vaseline inside your nostrils can help trap airborne dust and pollen before it enters your system? It's a practical solution for dusty barns, sweeping, or planting season. Amish farmers working hay or grain silos often rely on this simple defense. It's scent-free, doesn't sting, and keeps your nose from drying out in wind or heated rooms. You can also dab it inside your nose during winter to prevent cracking or nosebleeds. Windburn shield. When cold wind bites exposed skin, especially on the face, Vaseline offers an easy barrier to block irritation and chapping. Before heading out for chores, a thin coat across cheekbones and lips helps seal moisture in. Amish buggy drivers often rely on it during long, cold rides. It also works for children walking to school or playing outside. Apply around the eyes and nose area to block both wind and sun. Reapply after several hours if you're outdoors long. Thread tip stiffener. When thread frays or bends, it can be nearly impossible to feed through a needle. A tiny dab of Vaseline stiffens and smooths the end, making threading much quicker. Amish quilters and seamstresses sometimes keep a bit on a saucer beside their sewing baskets. Just roll the thread between your fingers and push it through. You can also apply it mid-seam to prevent further fraying if you're using coarse thread or hand-sewing tough canvas, flour sacks, or upholstery materials. Temporary water shield on cuts. Do you need to do chores but have a minor cut or scrape? Vaseline acts as a temporary water barrier, keeping the wound dry while you wash dishes, clean pins, or carry buckets. This helps prevent infection and allows healing salves to stay on longer. Though not a permanent solution, It's perfect when you need to keep going without a bandage. You can also layer it beneath a cloth wrap for added protection during wet weather tasks like milking or hauling wood. Grease seal surplus eggs. Coating fresh eggs with a very thin layer of Vaseline helps seal their porous shells, keeping air and bacteria out. This preservation method was common before refrigeration and is still used today by traditional Amish households during egg surplus seasons. Simply rub each dry, clean egg gently and store it in a cool, dark place. Rotate them once a week. You can also store them point down in sawdust or bran to extend freshness even further during the hot months. Smooth sewing machine treadle pivots. A small dab of Vaseline on a squeaky treadle pivot can restore smooth, steady sewing movement. Many vintage machines, especially non-electric ones used by Amish quilters, benefit from light lubrication at pivot joints and treadle hinges. Unlike messy machine oils, Vaseline stays put and won't drip. Use a cotton swab or toothpick to apply directly to the metal connection. This hack also reduces wear and noise during long stitching sessions. Be sure to wipe away any excess so dust doesn't stick and build up over time. Free a stuck zipper. When zippers on coats, bags, or dresses snag or jam, Vaseline can work wonders. Rub a tiny amount along the teeth using a cotton swab, being careful not to smear it on fabric. Tug gently, working the zipper back and forth to distribute the lubricant. This trick has long been used in practical households where replacing garments wasn't always an option. For extra mobility during cold months, keep a small jar in your coat pocket for quick fixes on boots, outdoor gear, or school bags. Beard and eyebrow tamer. If facial hair is looking wild, Vaseline can help keep everything neatly in place. Just a fingertip's worth smooths flyaway beard hairs or shapes eyebrows without hardening. It adds a soft sheen without stiffness, ideal for everyday grooming. Amish men often rely on simple grooming aids like this for Sunday preparations or formal gatherings. Use a clean brush or spoolie to apply precisely. This also works well on mustaches and sideburns. For women, it's a gentle way to keep brows tamed without sticky gels. Farmer's hand salve. After long days splitting wood or handling livestock, dry, cracked hands need reliable relief. Rub Vaseline deeply into fingers and knuckles before bed, then wear cotton gloves overnight for maximum healing. Amish farmers know the value of a no-nonsense salve, and this one is both affordable and long-lasting. It softens skin, seals in moisture, and prevents further damage. You can also mix it with calendula balm for added herbal soothing. Apply after every wash or chore to keep skin protected through the harshest working seasons. Winter udder balm. Protecting livestock in cold months is essential, especially their most sensitive skin. Vaseline provides a soft, protective barrier for cow udders during freezing temperatures and windy days. Many Amish dairies rely on it for soothing cracked teats and preventing frostbite. Gently apply after each milking, making sure the area is clean and dry. It also works on goats and other animals prone to skin damage. You can even use it on your own dry hands, heels, or elbows after animal care is done. Apply on lips overnight. Dry lips from wind or sun exposure can be restored while you sleep. Just before bed, spread a thick layer of Vaseline over your lips and let it absorb overnight. You'll wake with noticeably softer skin. For even better results, gently exfoliate first with a sugar scrub or washcloth. This tip is especially useful after long days working outdoors. Add a drop of peppermint extract for a refreshing scent. Keep a small jar by your bedside to make it part of your nightly routine. Soothe pet paw pads. Cold weather and hot pavement can leave your dog's paw pads cracked and painful. A dab of Vaseline massaged into each pad acts as a barrier, locking in moisture and soothing minor cuts or burns. Many Amish homesteads with working dogs use this method during snowy months or long farm days. It's non-toxic, so safe if licked. Apply before bedtime for overnight healing. For extra protection on long walks, coat paws before heading outside, especially if ice, salt, or gravel are part of the route. Quiet walker and suitcase wheels. If squeaky wheels are disturbing the peace, Vaseline might be the solution. Apply a small amount to wheel axles or joints using a cotton swab and gently roll back and forth to work it in. Amish communities prize quiet efficiency, and loud carts or walkers would never pass unnoticed. This tip works well for rolling kitchen carts, strollers, or utility dollies. Be sure to wipe away any excess to avoid collecting dirt or dust, which could gum up the parts again over time. Cotton ball fire starters. Did you know that Vaseline-soaked cotton balls are one of the most reliable fire-starting tricks around? They're compact, waterproof, and burn for several minutes, perfect for lighting wood stoves, campfires, or backup heat sources. Some Amish families keep a stash of these in old Altoids tins for emergencies. Simply roll a cotton ball in petroleum jelly until saturated. Store in wax paper and fluff before lighting. For longer flames, twist the coated ball into a rope and light from the end after loosening the fibers. Lube tent pole joints. Setting up a tent gets smoother when poles slide together without friction. Lightly coating metal connectors with Vaseline helps joints fit snugly and come apart easily. While not typically used by the Amish, who prefer solid shelters, this trick is invaluable for outdoor markets or event setups. Be careful not to use too much, or sand and grit may stick. Store a small tin in your camping or hunting gear for unexpected repairs. It also works on umbrella frames, folding chairs, and sunshades. Leather shine and conditioner. Restore life to dull leather boots, gloves, or belts using Vaseline as a quick polish. Rub a thin layer into clean, dry leather and buff gently with a soft cloth to bring back shine. This technique, embraced by Amish craftsmen who favor simplicity and longevity, keeps gear supple without fancy conditioners. Avoid using on suede or unfinished hides. It's perfect for worn saddlebags, harnesses, or even vintage luggage. Store your leather items in a cool, dry space to help maintain softness over time. Silence exercise. Bike pedals. If your indoor bike pedals squeak or grind during use, a small dab of Vaseline can restore quiet. Apply directly to the pedal joints or chain housing and rotate several times to spread evenly. While the Amish aren't likely of pedaling in place, they value silent machinery in daily life. You can also use this on any creaky pedal-based contraptions like treadles or antique spinning wheels. For best results, wipe off any dirt first so the Vaseline adheres smoothly and doesn't trap grit inside. Rust-proof pins and needles. Pins and needles left out on humid days are prone to rust. To prevent this, stick them into a ball of cotton or a cushion lightly dabbed with Vaseline. The petroleum jelly acts as a rust inhibitor, keeping sharp tools fresh for sewing or mending. Amish seamstresses often keep small tin kits to preserve their steel notions during rainy seasons. Replace the cotton regularly to avoid oil buildup. If pins feel tacky, rub them gently on fabric scraps to smooth the surface again. Lube manual hedge clippers. Manual clippers that bind at the hinge can benefit from a touch of Vaseline. After cleaning the blades, apply a small amount directly to the joint and flex it several times. This creates smooth motion without expensive sprays or tools. While modern power tools are rare on Amish farms, their hand tools need just as much care. Store your clippers in a dry shed and occasionally wipe the entire blade edge with petroleum jelly to help prevent rust and sap buildup during heavy use. Smooth, sticky drawers and windows. Drawers that stick or wooden windows that grind open can often be fixed without sanding or replacing parts. Simply rub a layer of Vaseline along the runners or contact points and slide back and forth to distribute. This remedy, quiet, subtle, and effective, would be welcome in any Amish household where mechanical fixes are kept minimal. It's also useful for stubborn closet doors, cabinet hinges, and even old sewing machine drawers. Be sure to reapply every few months to maintain smooth operation without damaging surfaces. Jelly poultice for splinters. One handy trick for drawing out splinters is applying a thick jelly poultice made from Vaseline and clean gauze. Cover the spot and leave it overnight. The skin softens, and the splinter often rises by morning. This method remains popular among Amish woodworkers who constantly handle rough timber. Always clean the area gently with warm water first. If needed, you can follow up by tweezing the splinter after applying a dab more Vaseline to ease skin tension and minimize pain during removal. Quiet, squeaky hinges. Don't reach for expensive sprays when an old door hinge begins to creak. Just dip a cotton swab into Vaseline and work it into the hinge joint. Open and close the door several times to distribute the lubricant thoroughly. Amish carpenters often prefer this simple fix for cupboards and interior latches, especially where oils might stain nearby wood. You can also rub a bit of Vaseline on metal cabinet handles to reduce friction and keep things moving quietly in tight spaces. Waterproof matches. To make matches waterproof, coat the head with a thin layer of Vaseline, then store them in a dry container. This hack comes in especially handy for farmers, campers, or anyone relying on wood stoves during rainy seasons. Some Amish households prep emergency kits this way, storing matches in wax paper or old pill bottles. Before lighting, gently scrape off the jelly to expose the match tip. For added protection, seal the container with a cork or rubber ring to block damp air. Waterproof work boots. When leather boots begin soaking up water, rub Vaseline over seams, stitching, and the leather surface. This creates a temporary barrier against rain and snow, especially helpful for chores in muddy barns or slushy fields. Although not a permanent treatment, many use it between heavier oilings. Be sure to wipe the boots clean before applying. You can also treat gloves, saddlebags, or canvas aprons the same way, but always test a small patch first to ensure no color distortion. Cushion tool handles. If wooden or metal tool handles leave blisters during heavy use, a layer of Vaseline can soften the grip and reduce rubbing. Simply rub it onto the tool shaft where your hand makes the most contact. Farmers and crafters alike, Amish or not, find this especially useful when working with hammers, rakes, or hand saws for extended periods. Reapply each morning during long workdays, and wrap the handle with cloth for extra cushioning if necessary. This reduces strain and improves control during repetitive tasks. Creak-free rocking chair. That familiar creak from a rocking chair may seem charming until it keeps everyone awake. To silence wooden joints, rub a dab of petroleum jelly where parts meet. This helps reduce friction and fill tiny gaps in aging furniture. Amish households known for their wooden craftsmanship often use simple salves like this for maintenance. For persistent squeaks, reapply weekly and check for loose joinery. Then keep a cloth tucked in your sewing basket for quick reapplications. Rust-proof chrome cane tips. Moisture and metal don't mix well, especially on mobility aids stored near entryways. Rub a thin coat of petroleum jelly on the base of chrome cane tips to prevent rusting from condensation. This simple hack helps extend the life of your cane and keeps it smooth and polished. It's especially useful in rainy or snowy climates. After outdoor use, always wipe off excess moisture first for better adherence. Sticky insect trap. No flypaper? No problem. Make a sticky trap by spreading petroleum jelly on a strip of brown paper or cardboard. Hang it near kitchen doors or windows where bugs gather. Flies get stuck without the use of harsh chemicals. Amish families, who often avoid commercial sprays, have relied on similar homemade traps for generations. Replace the strip when full and store rolled backups in a dry drawer for easy access. Stop glue bottle lids sticking. Few things are more annoying than a glue bottle that won't open when you need it. Rub petroleum jelly around the neck threads before screwing the cap back on. This keeps excess glue from drying up and locking the lid in place. For those who do woodworking or quilting projects, this trick keeps tools ready for use. Clean off old residue first so the jelly forms a clean barrier. Lube, hand crank grinder. Grinding corn, wheat, or coffee by hand can wear on your wrists if the crank sticks. A little petroleum jelly applied to the crankshaft helps the handle spin more easily. This tip has been quietly passed down in Amish kitchens and homesteads where manual grinders still see daily use. Be sure not to apply too much, just enough to prevent resistance. Wipe down the grinder after each use to avoid residue buildup near food.